Mood lighting.
I'd like to call the special meeting of October 4th, 2023 to order. Do I don't need a second? Yes, I'm so confused. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Please stand for the pledge.
Liberty and justice for all.
Anna, please call roll.
Klein.
Here.
Vincent. Here. Huber. Silver.
Here.
Perry.
Here.
Here.
Kurland.
Gary Bialis, representing Natalia and whoever else you want to bring up. Just come on up, introduce yourselves, and tell us what's going on.
Hi there.
For those of us sitting on this side of the dais, you want to move over to
Well, hold on.
A presentation.
And give you also a hard copy.
Oh, perfect. Wonderful. Thank you.
I think I have one of these.
Thank you.
It's
Oh, see?
loud. If I'll look at it and then I'll give it back because I have a copy.
Thank you.
He is just the attorney. I like that.
Right.
Fold out.
Okay.
It's a good thing we have Larry here.
There you go. There you go.
You're up.
Okay. Good evening. Yes? Okay. Good evening. My name is Gary Bialis. I'm Vice President of Development for Omni Senior Living, and with me tonight is Pat Finley, who's the chairman and founder of Omni. I want to thank you for letting me talk, and I've been working on this project for a while, and I think it's an important project for Orange, and I'd like to walk you through it to show you what our vision is and what we want to do here. Starting off, I have a photo here of a building, and you might be aware of Vitalia. Vitalia is the brand that we have developed, and this is very similar to it. There are some changes, and I'll show you how those changes are. The building out here I'm showing is the building we have done in Solon, Ohio. One difference here, just so you know, one difference here is this building is 4 stories. The plan in Orange would be a 5-story building, but it'd be 4 stories over a parking. So you'd have covered parking here. So it would look very, very similar to this, except it would be raised 1 floor. So I want to give you, everybody knows Pinecrest, but just give you a feel. This is Pinecrest over here, as you see in this picture. The property we're looking to is known as the Weintraub property, and there's been a sign there for many years. So if you look at you can see how we line up. There's an existing light here right now that goes into Pinecrest. That light also has a road that goes into Cooper Hawk and BJ's and the hotel. So we'd be coming off that roadway as our main access point. This is a larger blow up, and we look at this project as 3 types of uses. I think the village is looking the same way. The area up here that you see, these parcels, which right now we don't show anything on them, would be commercially used, okay? And they're about 9.5 acres. The next parcel back, this real long parcel here, is 55 and over homes for sale, okay? So this was, and there'll be anywhere between 120 and 115 homes ultimately in the plan. The other portion of it is active adult living for 55 and over. Now, this is a little different than we have in Solon, because Solon has independent living, memory care, and assisted living. This is just active adult living. So I'll get into that more, but this shows you the areas of the project. Now, another area, this project goes all the way out down Harvard Road to Brainerd, and here's the outline of it. This property here was our intention to have this donated to the Village of Orange for a park. So it's 37, 38 acres or so, but that would be a park that would be given to this as part of this project. This shows you a little more, just gives you a better idea of the uses, which shows up better on this drawing. It does show you the percentages. Basically, about 45% of this property would be parkland. The one thing you're not seeing here, even though it's not parkland, is all the areas that you see in here that are just white and nothing's built. The reason that is because this property has a lot of wetlands on it, and we have to work around those wetlands. So these areas that are white are never going to be developed. They're just more green space. So this, oh, I'm sorry. The public park's 45%, and it should be this. Is it in there? It's not in there? Sorry. Okay, the public park is 45%. The shops restaurants are 11%. The active adult living is 10%, and what we call homes for adults 55 and over are 34%. So I'll give you this. I thought it was in the package. I'll make sure you get that. So those gives you an idea. And the park, again, is 37.4 acres, and it's 45% of the entire project. And the park is not really usable, you're saying? Well, no, it's usable. The problem is in any development, the way the wetlands works, you can fill so much wetlands. You're allowed, you pay for it. And as this project, the way it looks, you may look funny because the way it winds and everything, is because we're trying to avoid wetlands or streams. The park isn't all wetlands, but if you have a wetland here and a wetland there and a wetland here, you can't keep moving like this. So we felt the best thing, and it'd be useful for the village, is to donate this as a park. So what we show here is what we want to develop.
One of the nice things, and not to interrupt you too much, Gary, but one of the things you might want to think about as you calculate this in terms of green space, the integrated green space within each of the segments to add to that overall green space for the project.
Well, you're right. We could add a green space number. If you look at this drawing, as I spoke before, if you look at the area here behind the active adult living, this is all green. This is green, this green. And not only that is, if you look at the housing, you can see how much green space is around there. All these areas which are green. So, right, I never did a calculation of, we probably might have 60% green of the whole site. I mean, it's a big number.
That's worth including in your scoreboard when you get to it.
Again, and I'm not going to go through all this on this. I know it's a presentation, it's a preliminary one, but we call this the V living experience. So it's named kind of after our Vitalia, but it's different than Vitalia. It's still the same concept, where you want people, individuals, who are ready to move to an apartment type atmosphere, out of home. Even though this is 55 and over, we know it's going to be people probably 65 or 70 and older, because people don't want to move out of their homes. They're happy there. But there'll be a percent of people that want to live here, because the whole idea is to have a sense of community where people are with other people. A lot of the people moving here are probably widowers, or separated or whatever, and they don't have a spouse anymore. There are people that are going to move in here that are married. It's no problem. But to just be in your house, this is to get people together. So when you think of this, don't think of it as an apartment building, because it's more than that. It's a place for activities. So if you go down here, you'll see some of the things that we have, like housekeeping. There'll be a coffee bar. We have a lot of outdoor amenities, pool or a bocce ball and pickleball and fire pit. The whole idea is to get people out of their rooms. I mean, it's fine to be in them, but don't you want to be with other people when you get older and not just be alone? And that's the whole thought of the process of this. We have a lot of common space inside and outside. So if you go here, I'm sorry, I'm just taking this as a typical kitchen. And this is a kitchen that would be in the building, in each unit. The bathrooms would be the same way. And we have, we'll have 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms. We might have some studios just because there are a few people, 4 units. We don't know yet, but might have a few that just want a smaller room and be able to partake in all the events. So if you think about it sometimes, it's almost like we have activity director. The idea is have activities. Don't come back to your apartment and go into your apartment and be done for the night. Why not go down and you'll see, go to a movie or have trivia. There's so many things you can do and not just come back to an apartment. And that's the whole thought process in our project. So this is a private dining room that we have. And again, let me step back here. I know some of you have come to our Solon property for independent living. If any of you want to come for a visit, please let me know, because I'd love you to see it. So you can see the quality.
If you haven't, you should see it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd more than give you a tour anytime you want. You could get dinner again, I don't know. So this is kind of an example of the quality and spaces we'll have, places that people can sit and talk. We have a library, a theater. Well, it's not just a theater. We have lectures. We have travel logs. You can do other things there. It's not speakers come in and talk. So it's not just a theater. It's a multi-purpose room, you could almost say.
Question about a previous, you showed the bathroom, and I saw that it was disability access. Yes. Sorry. I saw the bathroom was disability access.
Yes.
Is that standard in all of the bathrooms, or do people have the ability to design how they want their setup?
No, we build them before we have the people. So it's not custom apartments. But we do have a number of apartments that are handicap. But one thing we do, like a perfect example on this one, these counters are all handicap height. And I'm going to be honest with you, because we're designing for a little older individual. The counters are lower, which allows us to lower, sorry, I'm pointing on the screen, lowers the cabinets above. So people that are older or have a hard time reaching, it's easier for them now. We've lowered the counters a couple inches, and we also have lowered the counters in the cabinets above. So we're taking that into consideration.
Is the intent to have the single-family homes be able to, the people in them to have access to some of these activities, like through an HOA or something?
Yes, actually, it is the idea. We're thinking of, especially a lot of the pool or the bocce or the putting green. A lot of those things, I think it'd be better because you are going to have a younger individual in the homes. What that individual, I don't know, I mean, 65, 75. These could be 70 to 80. So it'd be good to mix them. So it's a community. And that's what we want, a community, not just a V living, not just the housing. It's both.
Is it gated or not gated?
It wasn't planned to be gated, no.
Gary, just as a thought, and I think it both has a marketing component and a community value at the same time, insofar as you're going to be providing some service access for the folks that live in the single units. Might there be a way to include members of the Orange community, elders in the Orange community, as a way of integrating this with the community, as well as being sort of an attraction for them to think about, this might be the place I might want to move? So a try before you buy almost program, where you could, some of these lectures and programs that you might have.
That's actually a good idea, and we could open up some things where, to the public and say, hey, we're having this program tonight. Do you want to come to it?
Really valuable
I
asset.
thought you were going to get in and have them start using all the community amenities, and that would be a problem.
No, no.
Okay, just having, we love to people, the best selling point we have is for somebody to see our project, because that's what will sell it. Again, the theater, this is a pool, we plan on having an outdoor pool here. We still debated back and forth, to be honest with you, outdoor, indoor, but we'll have a pool. And then,
Sorry.
it's okay, a putting green, bocce, pickleball. So we've talked about the rear of the property with the housing. Now, to make this property work, totally honest with you, we have to have some commercial. You know, commercial's only 10% of the whole project. It's, you know, you look at our project, which may have 25,000 maybe of total commercial, and you look at Pinecrest, who, I don't even know how much they have, 250, 280, 400, they have a lot.
250.
Or if they have commercial, and then they have the apartment, office building, and hotel. So they have a lot. So we do, you know, we've talked to a lot of individuals, and I'm going to be real honest for you. Right now, people have a hard time to make commitments. There's two reasons. Is this a real project? I mean, we have to go through a lot. We have to go through a referendum. This is not an easy project, not referendum-wise, but it has wetlands on it. There's some sanitary issues. We have to resolve a lot of issues. We've been ticking them off. Wetlands-wise, we've had the Corps out. We have Ohio EPA, and we know where our wetlands are, and we're fine now. We will be fine. We still have to go through the process, but there was a ruling made not long ago by the Supreme Court that helped us. Because any piece of wetlands, it could be a little pond, a little area 10 by 10, was considered federal regulated wetlands. Now it says if it doesn't go into public waters, it's isolated. And isolated is handled by the state of Ohio, which is good. And it also, you can fill up to 3 acres of it, but you have to pay for that and go through the whole process.
Say something just to make, I don't know if it's clear to everybody as it is to me, but I want you to know the process here is tonight you have for first reading the text code of what will make this possible, what they're showing us. And the text code is going to be referred to planning and zoning at the next meeting, which is what, October 17th? And on October 17th, they will make another presentation to planning and zoning, which I invite everyone to come because you'll have a chance to look through this and then ask more questions. But more importantly, we will be working on the text. We'll be reading through the text. And your job is to make sure the text gives us what we want. They're showing us what they want the text to allow.
Right, and I'm hoping this, I'm trying to, we need to be communicating here, and it's got to be a two-way street. I know the village wants certain things, and we need to have certain things, because we all want this to work and go ahead. I mean, it's property's been a long time, been around. I think we've probably made the most progress, and I think we can, I know we can get this done. It's just, we all have to cooperate, and our intention is,
To decide if they want.
right, and that's what I want to, I'm hoping I can convince them, and they see it.
Village, Kathy, maybe you know, would our fire equipment be able to equip a 5-story building?
Well, the chief is back there, and the answer is we would probably have Beechwood's fire truck.
We don't have a ladder truck that would take care of that. We would need to call it mutual aid, and Beechwood, as the mayor said, is closest.
If I can answer that question, though, the Drury Hotel is 7 stories.
Yeah.
So I'll just let you know. We won't be as high as them. Yeah.
Either way, we have to apply for, you have to get the mutual aid in order to make it work either way, for either one.
Close to Beechwood, too.
Beechwood's close.
We have a development agreement, like, if you remember, we had one with Pinecrest that will put in the, fill in what isn't in the text. No.
Oh.
The development agreement sets forward the character quality we expect the developer to deliver, much the same as we did with Pinecrest. It describes certain things that might be expectations on both parts in terms of delivery and producing the project.
Aspect of it is that the zoning will not preserve the park land, and we're sort of expecting that agreement will be in the development agreement. such that if the referendum is passed and zoning is changed and the project would move forward, there would be the transaction that would result in the protection of the area.
I'm keeping the parkland in the current zoning.
It is, it would continue to be U1.
Right, and we understand there'll be a development agreement where we have to set out things that aren't in the zoning, like the parkland, that we will deed it to.
Parkland?
Not as a part of the zoning.
Oh, but that's a later step.
That's where you want to have a separate agreement that would, assuming the zoning passes.
Right.
The agreement would move forward to result in that outcome.
On this slide here, have any of these businesses expressed interest, or is this just purely hypothetical?
So they have, like, Pro Bike and Run is probably someone you have not heard of. They actually have four locations in Pittsburgh. And we've gone back and forth negotiating with them. It's an interesting concept. They have, it's a bike and a running shop and athletic clothing, but they also have a lot of events. The ones in Pittsburgh have like 80 or 90 events a year. Running events, bicycling events, and they really are only high-end equipment, to be honest with you. When I went to visit their thing, I looked at the electric bikes, and I don't know, $2,000, $3,000. No, that's fine, but they had one or two in there for $19,000 or $16,000. So I guess it's a good bike, but.
Council will have a chance to look through all this and probably ask you a lot more questions.
Okay. So I'll keep moving on then to see you have. So this talks about Western Reserve Land Conservancy and who they are. I mean, this is what they do. We will work with them they will get the property, then they will donate it. And there's a reason we do this, but that's how it works.
Oh, okay.
If you've ever worked with them, they're in Northeast Ohio and that's how they handle it.
So the land would go to them first and then,
They don't want to keep the land. Yeah, so they have to get the right, everything they have to do it. And then we just, like I said, we have various users that we have, but again, it's hard, and you can read through this what pro biking is, because we don't have the zoning. This project, I'm going to be honest with you, we go to a March election, we win the March election, we really can't start a lot here until November, because there's wetlands here, and if you have a federal permit, you can't cut trees down, because there may be bats in the trees. Not even in the wetlands, anywhere on site. You can't cut, and that means you don't
The Indiana bats.
know that, right? So November, yeah,
Skip to the economic impact.
I will. Let me see if there's anything else you should see. You can go through this. So this is some housing styles, and so the economic impact, and it'd be hard to read up there probably, right?
Did you give that to everybody too?
Yeah, it's the last page. So if you look at this economic impact, if you look at the last page, the existing, and I'm going on the top line here, where it's taxes today, okay? The total property taxes are $11,000 a year, and that's what's paying on this property today.
that's it.
And then we distribute it between schools and not schools. So the schools typically get about 64% of that money. So now you go to the next one, you say new taxes, and we are talking about a TIF here, but I want to explain that TIF. So we looked at this without a TIF. So if you look at it, the first one under annual, and it says 173,000 would be the taxes the village would receive every year. And the schools would receive $1.1 million. And again, we know there's not going to be any added students, but the schools will still get $1.1 million. That's how much they get. If you go down that first line, you get to the next one. What we did is we try to analyze, some of the people here are still going to work. Not many. So we took, like in active adult living, we said, okay, you're going to have only 30% of the people work, and they're going to make this income. So they still pay some city income tax. So that's the second line. The other line, which only occurs one time, is the $777,000, if you look at your sheet, which is the construction payroll. Because people doing construction have to pay, they earn money, they have to pay taxes while they're working at a job. So the value of this project you'll receive that. So the village will end up the very first year, let's say, or not, it's really hard because you only get that first year. It shows $1.2 million, the schools get $1.1 million. Now, long as on this line, let's go out to 30 years. So what it shows, and we do 30 years because the TIF we're proposing is a 30-year TIF. So when you go out there, it's $15,800,000 that the village will receive over 30 years. And the schools will receive $35 million. Okay. So we propose to do a TIF, and it's a little different TIF. This TIF doesn't go to us, it goes to the city.
We've done this kind of TIF. This is what we did for the Chagrin Highlands South. It's just the county waives their money. It's a non-school TIF.
The school gets all their money.
This was already done.
Okay, so fine. So let's go to bottom line then. By doing the TIF, the schools will still get the same money. They'll get $1,110,000. The village, and this gets confused by the 7.7 number because you only get that one time. So why don't we go to the end? Over 30 years, the schools will get $35 million, so they're not getting any different from without a TIF. But village will get $28 million with this TIF. I just want to show you that because that's really where it goes. That's what you're going to get from this project. So is there any, I mean, I know you've done this TIF before. Is there any questions on how we calculate this?
Yeah, this is,
This is a lot to absorb, and they're just.
I want a quick thing. I know that we have our consultant, and I think he talked to your attorney, was it Paul, just to explain it.
Also to know that the nitty-gritty will be next week,
Okay.
and you'll have lots of chances to talk about.
And if there's any questions prior to that, there'll be questions after that. They can,
I have
'cause
one
there's a lot to get into. Yes.
quick. I noticed,
That's the planning and zoning meeting. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
not next week. I know you had me panicked that next week. It's like, that's a lot.
I noticed the access is just that one access point. Have there been studies or something to show, because you're not only dealing with, like I know, for example, Orange Tree only has that one exit point, but it's not commercial, it's just homes.
Right.
In Orange Hill, we have
Different entrance and exits if you look at the thing.
C1.
You have off of Harvard.
Yeah.
There's an exit off of Harvard.
But I think we should think about any detailed questions we have, and we can always send them to Gary directly, because this has been
Just
longer
right
than
here. I mean, it's
and we need to move on.
this traffic.
Is that okay? I think that we need to
I
table any other questions,
Yeah.
and then we can get.
I agree. I mean, it's new to everybody. Absorb it. Let me know what your thoughts are, questions. We'll be prepared.
Thank you.
Let me suggest something as it relates to the finance piece of it, and maybe this makes sense for a conversation with the finance committee for reference. Does that make any sense at all?
Have more money or not? We can talk
Well,
about that. Question.
so that everybody has a chance to fully understand it, because planning commission is not going to talk about money.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
It's too soon.
Okay. Thank you so much, Gary. Appreciate it.
Goes, I'm frustrated because for 30 years, we've all looked at the sign on Harvard Road, and nobody introduced the person whose name is on that sign. So just don't know.
Jim, you want to say something?
I've been working with him for 28 years. I've been working with him for 28 years on this parcel.
So let me ask
Let
you, are you saying he hasn't done his job yet, or?
Our goal was to have this thing done before one of us leaves.
It's not happening.
What? So, okay, sorry, I didn't introduce Jim.
Who's the other people with the project? Where's Pat Finley? Oh,
Well, the only other person is
He said Pat.
Larry Apple
Apple.
is with the project.
all right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Lots more conversation.
I'm ready for him.
We're going to be starting to invite the public, and
Thank you.
We'll watch this recording. You.
Things here for us, so people don't trip over cords.
There's not a tripping hazard going on here.
whoever hasn't seen one should take them up on their offer and go see them.
Of Vitalia?
Yeah.
I've been to those now.
Really like the one in Mentor, though.
Okay, thanks. All right, now to the fun stuff. I mean, that was fun too. Some other fun stuff. I will make a motion to confirm the appointment of Dan Kalk as part-time police investigator. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Vincent. Chief?
Council, I'd like to present for your confirmation Dan Kalk. He's agreed to share his talents with the Orange Village Police Department.
Talk louder, please.
Do the best I can here. He's agreed to share his talents with the Orange Village Police Department. He's an extremely credentialed and experienced police officer, having recently retired from the Aurora Police Department after 42 years of law enforcement service. Dan holds a bachelor's degree in business administration and a Juris Doctorate degree in law and is licensed to practice law as an attorney. He was a SWAT team commander, certified as a master white-collar criminal investigator, which is very rare. There's not too many people that have that certification at this point in time, correct? And is also certified to teach almost every topic offered by the Ohio Peace Officers Training Academy. He's a decorated police officer with numerous awards and citations that include the State of Ohio Distinguished Service Award, Beechwood High School Gallery of Success, and American Red Cross life-saving recognition when he resuscitated a neighbor who had collapsed in their front yard. Dan currently trains hundreds of police officers annually as an instructor for the North Coast Polytechnic Institute. And this evening, he's accompanied by his wife, Amy, and he's the proud father of 4 adult children and a grandfather of 2.
Okay, Anna, please call roll.
Klein,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Perry. Yes. Bilski,
Yes.
And the mayor's gonna administer the oath.
Maybe your wife might want to come up and
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Daniel L. Kalk,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the rules, regulations, and charter of Orange Village,
the rules, regulations, and charter of Orange Village,
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge my duties as a part-time police investigator
discharge my duties as a part-time police investigator
of Orange Village, State of Ohio,
in Orange Village, State of Ohio,
during my continuance in said office.
during my continuance in said office.
Welcome aboard, congratulations.
Thank you. You know, the council right around here. You're very welcome, my friend.
Welcome.
I'm also
You can find some people That's good. That's amazing.
What I meant to say to you.
Congratulations.
I might have some stories. We missed you. Shut up, calm. Amy was a classmate.
I meant to say.
Amy, his wife, was a classmate of mine.
Oop. Just hit myself in the nose with the microphone.
One is for you to keep in frame if you like, and the other one's for us. But you never know.
4 kids and 2 grandkids, too.
For framing.
Now, which one looks better? I don't know. Congratulations.
Now you're gonna take a picture and see it framed.
Awesome.
Yeah, put it in this.
Welcome aboard, Dan. Thank you. Thank you.
To have you.
A motion to approve the special council meeting minutes of September 6, 2023. Do I have a second?
I'll move.
I'll take that as a second, Mr. Klein. Okay, are there any changes, corrections? Mr. Bilski, you had a correction?
Yeah,
I sent you an email, just the thing.
I'm letting him say it.
That changed.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. I think we're done then. Okay, thank you. Anna, please call roll.
Klein,
Yes.
Vincent. Silver,
Yes.
Perry. Yes. Bilski,
Yes.
Kurland.
Yes. I will make a motion to approve the council meeting minutes of September 13th, 2023. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Silver. Are there any changes or corrections? Anna, please call roll.
Klein,
Yes.
Vincent. Yes. Silver, sorry. Yes. Perry. Yes. Bilski,
Yes.
Kurland.
Yes. Okay, I will make a motion to declare a 1993 International VIN number 1HTSDPCNXPH50483, aka ERV Emergency Response Vehicle, and a 2015 Ford Taurus VIN number 3FA6POH77FR212237 as surplus to be disposed of at the mayor's discretion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Silver. Chief? Did he go? He disappeared on us?
Chief Castor is the one who put it on the agenda.
Oh, dear. I don't know. Bob, you want to take over? Mr. Zugan, want to take over?
What's the first one? What is that?
And
I'll help them out.
Yeah.
So 1993 International is the old ERV, the emergency response vehicle. It was purchased through, I believe $1 when we got it from Chagrin Falls, and it turned into a mobile command center. Obviously now, bless you, we've got Havoc, which has sort of replaced it for the operation. But quite frankly, I mean, it's a 30-year-old piece of equipment, and we're starting to see a lot of dollars going into it to maintain it, and it's not being used. So they've made the decision to surplus that. The Taurus went into the dealership with a multitude of problems with it, and we had a rather large quotation for repairs for the rack steering in there and transmission and all that kind of stuff. And we felt that it wasn't worth putting the money into it. It's a 2015 looking on that number. So you'd have to talk to the chief of what the intents are of what he's doing with it, but that was the case.
Yeah, like,
explanation.
yeah, you. Yeah.
Do we need to replace the Taurus?
They both did a nice job for us at the time.
Yeah.
The herb itself, they don't even make the parts for it anymore. It's 30 years old.
Come to the microphone if you want to say anything.
Yeah. We've been putting it together. The service department's done a great job of keeping it running the last few years. But we're to the point where we can't even find pieces to make it go.
Does the Taurus need to be replaced? Or
Yes.
yeah,
We're talking about that for the budget for next year.
gotcha.
So we'll hold off without it until next year.
Immediate need.
No, correct. But otherwise.
All right. Any other questions? Anna, please call roll.
Thank you.
Vincent. Yes. Silver,
Yes.
Perry. Yes. Bilski,
Yes.
Kurland.
Yes. Okay, audience comments related to agenda items only. Are there any? Old business of pending legislation and motions. Ordinance 2023-13, an ordinance amending section 521.11, trimming of trees, shrubs, and weeds required, and section 1331.04, exterior areas of properties, maintenance, premises, identification, and enacting new section of the Orange Village Codified Ordinances to permit naturalized landscaping. Third reading. I will make a motion to pass ordinance 2023-12. Do I have a second?
Second.
What is that one?
Okay.
My legislation.
Anna, please call roll.
Klein,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Silver. Perry,
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Kurland.
Yes. All right, new business and consideration of a ordinance 2023-15, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into collective bargaining agreement with the Fraternal Order of Police and declaring an emergency. First reading. And then ordinance, the next one, ordinance 2023-16, an ordinance enacting the Orange Place South Planned Development District, OPSPDD, regulation and rezoning certain parcels of land to the OPSPPDD, amending the village zoning map and map designations, submitting the proposed zoning changes to the voters of Orange Village, and declaring an emergency. First reading. And this ordinance will be referred to the Planning and Zoning Commission. I don't think we have to say anything else to that.
I have one very quick question based on the P&Z meeting yesterday. We had talked about the name. Is that staying as is, or?
We'll work on that.
Okay.
Yes, she doesn't like it, that it's, well, right now it's called the Orange Place South, and I don't know.
It is accessed off of Orange Place South, so.
I don't love the name either.
I want a more romantic name.
We name it Bob.
No, we have too many of those.
Harvard South?
We have too many of those.
Okay. We are now to audience comments related to matters which advance the good of the village. Are there any comments? Oh, I'm sorry.
As we skimmed over the ordinances, is there any reason that the ordinance of the FOP agreement? Okay, we don't need to do
Right.
anything. All right, thanks.
Well, I think there's a little bit of confusion about October 9th. I think it's both Indigenous Day and Columbus Day, so we will celebrate both, but nothing will change. Village Hall will be open and trash and recycling will still be picked up. That could be the second holiday.
Thanksgiving Day in Canada that day, according to my little calendar.
What'd you say?
Oh,
Thanksgiving Day in Canada, according to
sound like we're in Canada.
It's a really important day. Okay. Next Tuesday, October 10th at 7 o'clock, meet the candidates. The event will be live streamed and it will then be posted on the website for viewing it again. But I hope people will come in person and meet everyone. And as far as specifics, Anna is still working with the moderator and we'll get that to you. Next paper shredding is Friday, October 20th, from 9 a.m. until noon at the Orange Village Service Department. Did your phone scare you today at 2:20? Nationwide emergency alert tests from FEMA and the FCC. Apparently, federal law requires testing at least once every 3 years, but I don't remember ever getting that before. Get it on my TV. Never remembered that. And then Bob McLaughlin told me to thank everybody. Most of this, a lot of the signs have been moved out of the right of way, but as you can, move them out of the right of way. We're not going to, measure with an inch ruler or anything, but try to remember to keep them out of the right of way. Right, Bob?
It's the other Bob.
No, Bob Zubin.
I know, but, okay. Bob, okay.
Again, I just want to remind you that, if you're interested in going through the process of writing the text, although a lot of it's been drafted with a working group, and Mark Majeski, our planner and whatnot. But in the past, we've gone through it and read every word and gone through the zoning code so that we all know what we're, putting before the voters. So, that's it for now.
Clarify, because we've heard a couple dates. So the next time that discussion's going to come up is at Planning and Zoning?
17th, and then we set aside October 24th as an extra and a special planning and zoning meeting in case we needed more time.
It doesn't come back to us and then go back to Planning and Zoning?
Back to you to vote second reading and then third reading, and the third reading has to be done by the December council meeting. If this is to make the March ballot, which is their goal, and I think we're trying to work.
And at the November meeting, we will set the public hearing for December.
Yeah.
So council will hold a public hearing on the change. Public hearing, and then of course there's a vote of people.
Public hearing will be around a council meeting, or will it be? Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
All of our public hearings are part of the council meeting,
Well, I have.
although we had Pinecrest, had special.
I'll say, I don't know, maybe it's just, maybe I'm getting old, but it feels like people are speeding a lot more lately in the village, and I, just want to encourage people to pay attention to their speed, especially in the neighborhoods around, but anywhere, there's children all over the village, thankfully, and it'd be nice if we try to keep them safe. You would think. But that's all I have right now. Mr. Silver?
No comments.
Okay. Mrs. Perry?
I have none either.
Ski.
No comments tonight.
Planning Commission met last night. There was one item on the agenda, which was the approval of the design for the addition that we approved, that Consul gave variances to last month, and the plans were approved for that. Steve, did Adam get back to you with respect?
I got him the draft, so we have not heard back yet.
Yeah, but you sent it late in the day.
Okay. So, and then obviously we discussed timing for the Vitalia project and review of the text code and so forth that will be in the next several meetings. I did want to bring something up that I think is relatively important and that we need to address. On November 12th, the Veterans Wall will be dedicated at OHS. I propose that a proclamation of thank you for the service of those veterans who have resided in Orange Village be acknowledged and posted in the Village Hall. To accomplish this, I've obtained the list of names
The beginning of what you said, you wanted to duplicate the Veterans Wall that St. Paul is doing?
No, just the names of those residents of Orange Village.
You want to do what with
A
them?
proclamation listing them that would then be posted in the wall, on the wall here in Village Hall.
Or mayor resolution? Because I'm writing a proclamation to John St. Paul for the wall.
Okay.
You want something here from a council resolution?
It'd be a council resolution, I
Okay,
think.
you have to get all the names.
And, yeah, I have the names. John sent me the list of all of the Orange resident names, and I think it's appropriate that we acknowledge them and include them in our Village Hall.
Proclamation.
And secondarily,
Here's proclamation is for?
No, I didn't have in mind for it to hang here.
We have to hang it?
That's
I
what
mean,
he's asking.
okay. I mean,
Well, maybe we can do better than just a piece of paper.
yeah, well,
well, it could always, you could write,
Why don't we let St. Paul have his moment?
I mean,
and
let
then
him have his moment. He's making this big, extensive,
we can
formal thing, so.
I think it's important that
Right.
we parallel that and support that recognition. And along with that, I believe that we should take the month of November and post flags for the, in celebration of our veterans, and encourage our residents also to post their flags as well.
If you're done, are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. Mrs. Vincent?
I think I've done enough.
Thank you. I'd like to start out by congratulating this year's Orange High School Homecoming Court, which included 3 Orange Village residents, Abdul Taraban, Chika Nwazuzu, and this year's selected Homecoming King, Charlie Rupsaman. Charlie was also recently named a National Merit Commended Student, so congratulations to Charlie and his family. And in more stories that make you smile, the selected homecoming queen, though not an Orange resident, did happen to be his girlfriend, so lots of ties there. There to crown them both was the 1983 OHS homecoming queen, returning for her 40th reunion, who is also an Orange Village resident. That's Jamie Zwick-Holm. So congratulations to all. Lots of good reasons that I remain proud to be Orange.
Did you say Jamie Holmes?
Home.
The homecoming queen?
Yep, in 83, yeah. In an I Say It Here, It Comes Out There moment for those familiar with the movie Broadcast News, a huge thank you to Bob Zugan, who apparently walks on water, for working miracles this week and getting the lamppost back up and running for Orange Hill. So thank you for that.
Where was that down? It was on Orange, where was it?
On Beacon Hill, up the street, about 6 doors down from where you are.
Where?
Yeah, it was lying there for, I guess, a few weeks.
A few weeks, if you
Yeah.
worked on water. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, well, but we called him on Monday and it was done by Tuesday, so
That Bob.
good job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's amazing. We are moving toward the next phase of Orange for the holidays. Along with Pinecrest, our major sponsor, I have secured another 6 local sponsors and believe Brent also has 1 or 2 sponsors as well to help defray the expenses for this year's incentive booklet. Thanks in advance to Anna for compiling it. And we're still working with Jesse at Pinecrest to finalize everything so we can get that out in the official December mailing. In school news,
It's the calendar.
with the calendar, right, the big December mailing. The OHS robotics team started off its season strong, winning the annual Curiosity Open at the Great Lakes Science Center. And Orange was proud to celebrate its 5-star achievement rating at last week's board meeting. Orange earned the overall rating of 5 stars when the Ohio School Report Cards for 22-23 were released in mid-September by the Ohio Department of Education. These scores significantly exceed state standards, so it's very impressive. But Orange is proud of its excellence beyond the state report card. The quality profile is now making its way to your mailbox. Should be there this week or early next week. I do have copies for Anna and for Orange Village residents who are awaiting them. At a board retreat this past Friday, approvals were given for a new generator for BMS and repairs and replacements at the administration building where I work. If you go by it, you'll see that they're well underway, including windows and a structural wall are ongoing right now with costs not to exceed $150,000 on each. In an unrelated matter, but as most of you know, the power outage in Pepper Pike on Chagrin closed the schools down for the day yesterday. We're back up and running today. The board also heard an update on centennial planning, the 10-year capital expense PI budget, and strategic planning goals. As you all know, there is a PI levy renewal on the ballot in November. I encourage everyone to vote. Yep.
Does anybody give an Orange Village report at the school board meetings?
I share information. I don't do it at the meetings, but I share.
Meetings, it's only fair.
Means,
I'm not on the school board.
how do you share it?
I share information. As things come up here, I share it back
From the audience?
with individuals, with school board members. Yeah. Speaking of sharing, I was also asked by the Orange Senior Center to thank Mayor Mulcahy for her support with and for the Senior Transportation Service and the Orange Senior Center. The staff at the Orange Senior Center has only received positive feedback from members in our community who use this transportation service for things like physical therapy and medical appointments. As a reminder, it's available for anyone who's 55 or older in our community. That you are encouraged to register for the Senior Transportation Service at the Senior Center. It is free. They do not do anything with the information. Well, not for you, but for our residents.
I think Uber would be cheaper.
It's just $3 for rides.
It would pay about $28 a ride.
Yeah. So, but they were very grateful for all the communities that participate and especially asked me to thank you.
You're welcome.
But do register if anyone's interested in using it. Registration is free, and then it's ready to go if and when you ever need a ride. I wanted to recognize that we're now in the middle of National Hispanic Heritage Month, which runs from September 15th to October 15th. Orange High School students created a showcase that is on display to recognize the contributions and influence of Hispanic and Latino Americans to the history, culture, and achievements of the United States. Finally, this year's PTA Reflections Art Contest is underway. The theme is I Am Hopeful Because. Lots of reasons we want to be hopeful right now, so we're looking forward to a lot of student entries. Any student may submit an entry in visual arts, film production, literature, music, composition, photography, or dance choreography. Official rules and entry forms are available. Entries are due October 17th. I will say it's an event that will happen in November, and it's something I've been honored to host each year, and it really is just a joy to see the incredible talent and the optimism that we have in our district youth. That's all I got.
Oh my gosh, that's all you got? Really?
Oh, 2 pages.
Okay.
You have time to do that.
Okay, I will make a motion to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of preparing for, conducting, or reviewing a negotiations or bargaining session with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment. And I invite Sarah Moore, Chief Costura, and Steve Byron to also come in. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Klein, Anna, please call roll.
Sorry, gotta go up. Klein? Vincent?
Yes.
Silver?
Yes.
Perry?
Yes.
Bilski?
Yes.
Kurland?
Yes.
Please tell everyone that